Mic test 1, 2, 3. I forgot I got lost. I forgot I was at a Greek Symposium. Welcome everybody. Give yourselves a hand for being here today. I miss y'all. Did y'all miss me? Yeah. Only can hear you. He's over there in the corner. Did y'all miss me? Yeah. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. Can y'all believe September already? This year has gone by. It has gone by. When you are in grief, it feels like you lose track of time. You really, really do. So again, hats off to all of you for being here. We appreciate you. Let's give it up for our first timers for being here. We're so excited that you are here. And as Marie stated, I am probably one of the, well, I don't know it to be true, but I think I'm one of the few grief counselors that will encourage you to let you know that you can get your happy back. I know most of them do, but most of them don't involve dancing. I like to involve dancing because dancing is just another form of I guess, listen, y'all not guess anymore. Y'all here for the first time. We look forward to you coming back next month as well when we see you in person. But they act like I never asked this question. We've been here for months. You see how they all got quiet? Like, I don't know what she's talking about. We ask this question every month, every month. So y'all be prepared. And even if you have something you want to share, you can definitely share that as well. You travel. Okay, is that something you do all the time or is this new? All the time. So you're a traveler and that makes you happy, relaxed. Now, are you one of the travelers that have something on the list every day of the hour? No. Okay, I was getting ready because I said it took you so long to answer, probably. Because some of y'all go on vacation and you gotta be doing something the whole time you're gone. To me, that's not a vacation. Because when you get back, you need a vacation from the vacation that you took. Okay? So good, travel. I'm learning to do that more. I like to travel too. Anybody else, what have you done since I saw you guys last? Yes. I spend more time with family that I wasn't close to or living close to. Very good. Spending more time with family. Listen, because my mother used to say that folks is dying that has never died before. I never knew what that meant. I'm like, never died before. But the truth is, a lot of people are dying. So, and when you have a significant loss in your life, and it is a death loss especially, a lot of times it does cause us to want to get closer to those people that we love. So good for you, spending more time with your family. Anybody else? Everybody else don't know you did okay. So there was this side and this side. Let's take one more. Yes. Two more. Yes. Yoga. Yoga has helped me relax and calm my thoughts and think about myself. Very good. Yoga. It says helps her to relax and calm her thoughts and think about you. It is not selfish to think about you, especially when you are in grief. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, and you? So I like to bake. So did you bring anything with you today? No, I didn't. Next symposium, we want you to, all right, get with Marie, let us know you're going to bring something. I came up with, my son had apple bananas, but he liked bananas and they were getting ripe. So I made my own recipe for a banana pound cake. You know what I mean? Oh, that sounds really good. Thank you for letting us know that. All right. Tell them our production team is working on that. Oh, they can hear now. Technology is wonderful, isn't it? Yes. When it works, it's wonderful. They know how to use it. And you know how to use it. You're right. You're right. Well, good job, everybody, on doing those things. What have I been doing? I'm still in therapy once a month. I have my therapy sessions. I am still on a health journey as it relates to working on my blood pressure being balanced. So I'm doing that. I'm moving my body through some form of exercise, just minimal. I hadn't done a lot of that, but I am better with my diet. So that's the one thing I've been consistent in, and I am feeling better about that. So all of us, we're on this journey together. Now, how many of everybody here for a debt loss? Okay. Any other loss outside of that? Okay, those of you streaming, you can let us know what you're here for. Is it a debt loss or you had some other type of loss? How many of you, your loss was within the last year? A show of hands if you're able to raise. Okay, so we've got some new people. Okay, and everybody else is going to be beyond that. So we're going to go to our handout. You go ahead and get your handout. We'll start there. Momentarily, we'll go over that, but I do want to share, for those of you who are here for the first time, just to catch you up to speed with a couple of terms so that you know that grief is something that happens on the inside of you, and absolutely everybody grieves because it's an emotional, it's an internal, and it's a hormonal. When I say hormonal, I also mean chemical, such as the hormones like cortisol, norepinephrine, adrenaline. All of those are the stress hormones. And when we're in grief, those hormones are flooded into our bloodstream. Thus the reason to do what we call grief work. So mourning is on the inside, grief is on the inside, mourning is on the outside. It's how you cope. So you come here to really learn how to cope in a healthy way. Because all of us cope, but the question I want you to ask yourself, do I cope in a healthy way? So what do you do when you get stressed? Do you go eat everything in sight? Do you eat snack foods, unhealthy foods, or do you go to other substances such as alcohol or smoking or whatever your vice is? I want you to look at it. Even if it's suppression, some of us do that. We feel that I don't want to bother anybody, or I don't want anybody in my business, so we're not going to talk about grief. My encouragement to you is you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. Why? Because, again, if you don't deal with your grief, you've heard me say time and time again, your grief will deal with you. And how will it deal with you is going to show up. And most people think grief only shows up through sadness. It does not. A lot of times it shows up in anger, frustration, sickness within our body, isolation. You don't want to be around anybody. So these are just a few symptoms of how grief shows up. So again, before we go to the handout, we're going to talk about grief and change and how to rebuild your life. Because after you experience a significant loss in your life, you're not the same. Although we try to be the same. You're not. I'm sorry. You scared me, but I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay. We got some people online who were, I'm a little behind everything. Okay, okay. They were telling what they had done. Oh, thank you. What did they do? Karen said she traveled to Japan. Come on, Japan Ministry, Karen. Yeah. And then Jim Brown said he's continuing to celebrate his birthday. That's continue to celebrate. Hey, Jimmy, happy birthday. Good. Okay, thank you guys for sharing that. Those of you online, we appreciate that. So before we go to the handout, I want an activity. Could I get 4 volunteers? You don't have to say anything. You don't have to sing. You don't have to dance, but you do have to come up here and put a puzzle together for me. So can I get 4 people to come and do that, and you can start that, and then we'll move from there. So those of you who are streaming live, you can just watch them put this puzzle together. Yeah. Okay. All right. Your sister not gonna come with you. Sister, I got 2 over here already, and 2. She said, "Oh man, y'all twins, you gotta do it. Come on, you're twins." So if you can stand right there. There you go. There you go. You can stand right there, and you can stand right. Come on and clap for my friend. Good to see you. She said, "Good to be seen." Absolutely it is. Okay, yeah. So if y'all can put those together for me. Yeah. Jeopardy. What you say? I'm not timing you. I do want you to, I don't want you to take forever. I'm not timing. She's good. She said her partner is good. What you call it? Oh, she knows who is Princess Tiana. Okay. Disney. You have grandkids. Okay. And y'all done puzzles before. Y'all like puzzles, right? I'm not saying that they're doing a good job. I'm just asking. Y'all are wrong. Puzzles are good to relax your mind. Okay, so that's something that you can do in grief, to not just in grief, but just to decompress the different puzzles. Y'all doing really good. The rest of her face. Okay. See if y'all come over here. I want y'all to come over here. Yeah, and help them, and we can finish. Oh, okay. Mama say y'all telling us we. Oh no, ma'am, I'm not telling you. Stop. We just coming to help. That's all. What you think? You don't see? Uh, it's gonna be what? Ah. So what's happening over here? A piece is what? She said a piece is missing. Volunteers, y'all. I have the courage to come up here. Absolutely. Let me. This was the best time I've ever had in doing that exercise. A lot of times people who are competitive at everything, they are rushing through that puzzle. And I never say that you have a timeline. I never say you need to beat the other team. But most often, the teams are usually trying to compete against each other. Who can get through it the fastest? It's not a race. So a piece is missing from each one, and I did that deliberately. The reason is the lesson we can get from that is that you cannot put the life back together that you once had. So in grief, a lot of people attempt to do that. Let me just get back into the swing of things. Let me just go back to work and do what? Keep busy. Let me keep my mind off of it. Yeah. You can try to do that, but it's going to delay your healing. Something else that usually happens that a lot of times in puzzles, people will put a puzzle piece in a place that doesn't fit. It looks like it, but it doesn't fit. That's applicable to your Greek journey as well. As it relates to relationships, a lot of your relationships will change. We're going to talk about this today. Some of you may experience grief from losses of people that used to be in your life, and they're no longer in your life the same way that they were before the loss. Does that make sense? All right, clap it up again for the volunteers that came up here. I just love our DJ. I just love our DJ. All right, let's go to the handout. Talk about grief and change. You're going to rebuild your life. So we got a pencil there for you to take notes as we go and just underline some things there because what you're doing is rebuilding your life. So grief and change, basically they are linked together. They really, really are. Every loss brings about a change and every change carries some loss. So let's go to the next page there. Let's go to the next page. If you are a person that loves to learn about leadership, Samuel Chan is a leadership guru. He has a quote at the top of the page there that says, growth equals change, change equals loss, loss equals pain. So inevitably, growth equals pain. So it doesn't feel like you're growing right because your loved one died. Matter of fact, you rather that your loved one be here. I'll just bypass the growth if I can have my loved one here. When you do experience a loss, know that it is an opportunity for us to grow, and we have the choice to determine if I want to grow from this pain or not. Okay? Some people, unfortunately, choose to be stuck in the pain of grief. For a few people, grief never ends. Grief never ends. I just talked to you, it's an internal response, but the pain of grief is what's supposed to end. It takes up to 5 years after the loss for you to find your new home. And that's if you're doing what I call participating in your healing. So if you're not doing anything about your grief support, if you're not going to get help, if you're not talking to anybody, if you're not doing the things that you need to do at home, guess what? You will be stuck in your grief. And unfortunately, that is a choice. That is a choice, okay? So change is inevitable in our life. So let's look at the handout. It says anything that isn't changing isn't growing. Underline that sentence. Because we as human beings, we can get stuck. Even if we don't realize we are stuck. Because we like what we like it, how we like it, I like it, whether I want to do it at the same time, every day, whatever it is that you do, we don't like to change. But a lot of us will say we like to change, but we don't. So anything that's not changing is not growing. And life itself is built on change, seasons shift, our bodies age, children grow into adults, and even the cells in our bodies, they renew themselves all the time. So change, it may feel like an interruption, but in reality, it is the essence of life. So those of us who probably remember when we were in grade school, we learned about the law a Newton's law of motion. It talks about a body at rest, it's going to stay at rest until a greater force outside of that is going to come and move it out of the way. Or it talks about a body in motion is just going to keep going in motion until something outside of that is going to come and change. So an example of that is for me. I was just like that. I was a body in motion. I was doing good, helping people, and I was just doing it purposely. I didn't have purpose in that. And the thing outside of my life that caused me to stop was the divorce. There was an external crisis that came and showed me you are not taking care of yourself the way you need to. You are not dealing with things the way that you need to. So as a result, I stopped and I learned, I grew from that painful experience. All right? So let's look at the handout. It says, "If change is often unwelcome, it really is. Not about what we've lost in grief, it is also about what has changed." Underline that sentence. Because grief is so painful that we only focus on what I lost. My mother's not here. My son's not here. My grandmother, whoever it is that died. We only focus on that versus what we have remaining. So every loss creates a ripple effect, which often involves pain. But part of our healing journey is learning how, underline this, to rebuild life within those things. And I don't care how old we are or how young we are. As long as we are living and breathing, and my mother used to say this, and I didn't understand it back then, and you in your right mind. Like, what does that mean? Yeah, right mind or what? I don't understand it. Right mind. I understand it. I turned a few corners and I understand what that means now. So as long as you're able to think clearly, you can change and rebuild your life where you are. We all can do that. So it says we don't choose the losses that come, and change feels forced upon us. And it doesn't. Yet even in the pain, transformation is happening. Our perspective shift, our priorities realign, and our compassion deepens, and that's only if we allow. So let me ask this question. Those of you, again, all of us, we said that we're here because of the grief loss as it relates to death. How are you now when you hear about other people who are experiencing death? Are you more compassionate? Are you more understanding? Are you able to connect when commercials come on TV or you see a movie about death that's similar to your story? Do you kind of connect with it? Absolutely you do. You're more sensitive. You're more sensitive now as it relates to that. So it says grief is the bridge between what was and what will be. So underline the word bridge. That's what grief is. It is the bridge. Okay? So change is not meant to erase the past, but to build a bridge to the future. So every small adjustment, every new step that you take, every shift in perspective is a part of your growth. Many people come to me when they're working with me in groups or individually, they'll ask me, am I progressing? I don't think this counseling is working. What makes you think it's not working? Because I'm lost. I don't know what to do. It feels like I'm not making progress. So then I start pointing out to them. I say, you are making progress. You get up every day. The fact that you get up every day, you get dressed every day, you take care of your personal hygiene. If you are not going to be okay, you will be able to do those things. Okay, so it's those simple tasks that we take for granted make us think we're not progressing in it. You keep showing up to therapy every month. You keep showing up at work, doing what you have to do. That certainly is progress. The challenge is because your life is different. It is different than it was. It has changed, but it feel like I'm not doing it because really we don't have control over the life that we have. We really didn't before our loved ones passed. But since they passed, it makes us really aware that I'm not in control. I can't control things that have happened to me, and I cannot control my grief. So when I'm working with people, especially one-on-one, the biggest challenge I have in the beginning is teaching people to release control. Release control of how this situation, this journey is going to pan out. Okay, the moment that you do that, it'll be easier for you to push forward in your life. So we want you to understand again about grief and change. So it says grief is a response to loss, and it is. And underline this, it's a full body experience. It impacts every part of you. So if it's a full body experience, guess what? You must provide full body. Which means you got to give attention to your mind, your emotions, your will, your physical body, all of that, your spirit, because grief impacts all of that. Okay? So it says change is inevitable in grief. Even if the person or the event is no longer here, guess what? Life is moving forward. So the moment that your loved one died, your life changed. Everybody else around you, those who did not experience that moment with you, the world kept moving forward, right? The expectations were the same, especially at work. And if you know where you were, you probably didn't get more than maybe 3 days a week, maybe 2 weeks max. But after that, what is the expectation? Be back at work, perform at peak level, just like you did before you left. That is unrealistic. I appreciate one guy who came to a grief support group and he owns his own company. This young son in his 30s that died. And he said, you know what? I am changing my bereavement leave policy. I now understand that 3 days is not long enough for a person to process and deal with their grief. And I thank you. I said, I appreciate you for doing that for your employees because it is not enough. It is not enough. But that is certainly the expectation. So it says three common ways that change shows up in grief. You have external challenges like your job, finances, household responsibilities. So people don't know that. They think after the funeral, oh, they're gonna be fine. They go back to their life. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're trying to figure all this out. Some of you had to be the caregiver for a loved one and you lost your job while you caring for them before they died. So now you're trying to find a job. Now you're trying to figure out how to pay bills. If it's a spouse that died, guess what also died? And income died. Now they're trying to figure out the budget. So those are external changes. You've got relational changes, meaning your friendships, family dynamics, and support networks. Those can change. And then we have internal changes, how we see ourselves, our purpose, and our future. One of the popular things that a lot of people ask me, man, what is my purpose now? What am I supposed to do? Especially with a caregiver. Because you spend all your time caring for the person. Now they're not here. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all this time? All right, let's go to the next page. Talk about the impact of change in grief. So, grief can feel like living in two worlds. One foot in the past and one foot in the future. Okay? We have the memories of what was, and we have the uncertainty of what it is as it relates to our new life. So it can also feel like being suddenly thrust out of the world you once knew into this unfamiliar foreign place. And that is true. In your world, dysfunctional or not, you knew what was going to take place. You knew how to handle things. When you're in grief, it's just like boom, it catapulted you over into this place where it's foreign. So guess what you have to do? You have to figure out how to live in this place. You got to figure out how to live there. So it says one moment you feel steady, predictable, and rooted in familiar rhythms, and then the very next moment you feel lost. It's like you're disoriented, almost as if you've landed on a different planet. And actually, I know someone who still says that about their loved one. Their word is, I live on Saturn, because they're dealing with complicated grief. Yeah, complicated grief. Loved ones' life were taken. And maybe a few years, 3 years or something like that, and how they're dealing with it. I know this is my reality, but I don't want to live in my reality. So at this moment, I'm choosing to be on Saturn. That can only last for so long. It's okay to do that at the beginning, but at some point, guess what we have to do? We have to come to Saturn. We have to process that. Okay, it says the language of this new world is unfamiliar. That's why I love going around teaching people about Greek because a lot of people think they understand, but they really don't. They don't understand about Greek, so I help them understand the language and the roles and all of that. Even simple tasks can feel what? Overwhelming, such as opening the mail. A lot of people Greek, the mail starts acting up because you just don't have the energy to read it. I don't want to deal with it, so it starts stacking up. Okay? That's not common when you basically feel out of place. You're not at home in your own life. Okay? So let's go down to the bottom. We want to look at identity shifts and role changes. Some of you have heard my story about the divorce. I was a pastor's wife and I had a safe seat every Sunday. Praise the Lord. No matter if I got to church late or whatever, I was going to have a safe seat and a parking. One of the things I had to learn was my identity because I attached myself to that. I fell into that trap. You know, it's like I didn't realize who I was prior to that. And that's what happens a lot in relationships when we're married, when we're together. We identify ourselves based upon who we're connected to. So that's what I did. So I'm like, oh my God, when I went to divorce, I'm like, man, where am I going to sit now? As if there were no other seats in the church to sit, you know, because I'm used to sitting up to the front. So, and the other thing is, I'm like, man, I can park way down the back where the other people park. Listen, I don't care if I'm parking in the back. I don't care if I sit in the back. None of that now. I had to work on my identity, so that was a role shift for me. I thought I was going to lose a lot of my friends, my first lady friends. Like, oh, well, who's your first lady here? They go to brunch, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get invited to the brunch anymore. They still don't invite me to the brunch. I don't get to go to the brunch. I guess I'm qualified, but it's all, it's all right. But I have more first lady friends than I had when I was for me that I had to adjust. Here are some roles that you guys have to deal with. Now that you become a widow or widow. Now, for younger couples or people that they don't like the word widow. I don't know if you're older. How do you feel about the word widow? I don't like it. I don't like it. So I tell people, come up with another word. Come up with another word. Maybe you can trademark it. You can be known for that. But that's garbage. I remember like, she said, man, I had to fill out some insurance paperwork and they asked me about my marital status. And for the first time, she had to check widow. And she got mad. And she walked out of the office. She said, I'm not signing that. I'm not circling that. Because I don't want to be a widow. Well, she had to adjust to that. What about a parent when a child dies? Man, it just goes against universal law when the kid dies. I don't care how old they are. Because our children are supposed to grow older and marry us versus us marrying them. So to become, a parent. Or if you're an employee and it's time to retire. Believe it or not, many people go through when they're retired. Especially if they were forced to retire. I will talk over it. Y'all all right? Y'all need some free support? Y'all need some free support because of retirement? That is true because you've been working in this position for so many years and then you come out and you go into the workforce like, man, what do I do now? So yeah, what we were talking about retired. It was like it's scary because you didn't know what to expect. And then once we got out of there, maybe we just won't come. Exactly. Because it changed the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown. Thank you for sharing. What you say? You adjusted well to it? Ready. I'm gonna say I was ready. I was ready. Absolutely. It is an example of, and then it's a child. Oh, my classmates, a lot of my classmates, they are what I call they're in the sandwich generation. They have children, but their parents are aging. They have the caregiver, have to be caregiver for the patient. Or the spouse have to be a caregiver. And when you're caregiving for a loved one, that is a task. my sister. Her husband, my other sister's husband died earlier this year in February, and she's a caregiver, and she's a nurse, always going, doing. When he died, she's like, oh my God, she got to figure out some other people about him. They boss me around like they used to. But she got to figure out what to do. Okay? So people can feel invisible, they can feel unanchored, or unsure. That's what the read just said, uncertainty, unsure of their place in the world. Where do I belong? Where do I belong? So what's the key perspective I have? Acknowledging that while laws may change your role, and it may, it does not erase your worth or your identity. You're still important. It's just going to look different. You still have value. But it will look different. So you want to see your identity as always. It's never changing. Okay? I'm not only what I lost, I am also who I am becoming. Who I am becoming. So there are many things that you could do after a significant loss. I've had adults go back to school. I had one lady, Miss Ida, her husband died. I think she's probably 80, 81. She wrote a book after her husband died. So there are many things that you can do absolutely after death. So the next page it says, finding purpose and meaning in a new chapter. Underline that, please. Finding purpose and meaning. The reason I want you to underline that is because many people in loss, especially minority people in the black community, in the faith community, we immediately want to find meaning. What is the Lord saying? He tell you get grief support. Go get your grief support. They want to know what is God's meaning. What is the meaning that my loved one died? The meaning will unfold as you go through the grief process. Okay, it'll unfold. Sometimes it'll be a year, even further along the way when you say, "Oh my gosh, I get it now. This is why such and such happened at that particular time." So I don't want you to try to seek out meaning in the beginning because it's too long, it's too new. Too new. So the search for meaning is a key part of the grief process, and it is. It says, as David Kessler, he's also a grief expert, he knows meaning does not make the pain disappear, but it makes it bearable. So as you seek out the meaning, when it's time to do that, it doesn't take the pain of grief away, but it does make it bearable sometimes you can understand. Because we don't know where people were in their life right before they died. We don't know. A lot of things we're praying for healing. We're wanting our loved ones to stay with us if they're sick. We don't know what they talked about with the Lord. We don't know what happened. So we have to be able to allow ourselves to be in that space to realize that the healing will come and it will down the road. So purpose may feel hidden in your grief. And that's when you start asking, what is the point of my life? Why am I here? Okay? So what are some steps to help you rediscover your purpose? Number one, you want to honor your past. How do you do this? You continue to remember them through memory, through legacy, through projects, through rituals. You want to continue to do that. You'll always remember them because your brain, again, our brain is designed to capture memories, and that's what it does. This is why it's important to go through this or even therapy, whatever it is you need, so you can feel something forward every time I something that reminded me of my marriage that I had, it was painful. Now it's not painful anymore. So my most recent debt loss is my god sister December 23. And we're just going through systems and dealing with her stuff. So ready for that process. So I can start really my grief process because I'm acting as the mediator between her only child and her husband. Okay? So for her, it's like, man, I am ready to be able to allow myself to honor my past and relates to her memories, but I'm not able to do that because I'm doing what is called the business of grief. You have to do that, you have to take your business, you have to deal with the insurance company, you have to deal with bills, you have to deal with property, if there was property, you have to deal with all of that. And once you get that, that's when the healing really starts for us. We want to honor the past, you identify your values, number two. Now, what really matters to me? Now that can change because what matters to you more than what matters to you. So you have to think about what it is. And then number three, explore small acts of purpose. When you're ready, you can volunteer. You can mentor other people. Have creative expression, whatever that looks like puzzles or on adult activities. You can do that, those kinds of things. Because support other people in grief. Now, that's something that all one of my clients just a moment ago, I interviewed her about her son. Her son was murdered, and I interviewed, it's been about a couple of years, I believe, I interviewed her early this year. She's 30, and we did it online, and I said, you're going to talk and telling people about your story. And no, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. And she just got a text. Somebody just texted me to speak. I said, I told you. So that's how purpose and meaning can come into play if you allow it. If you allow it, okay? So we're rebuilding after loss. So it's not about replacing what or who was lost. It's about creating underlying that a new foundation for a new life. You're creating that. It doesn't just happen. You have to create that. You have to create that, okay? It says loss often tears down the familiar structure of our identity, our routines, and our relationships, and it leaves us feeling empty. It really, really does. So how do you rebuild it? Number one, you accept the change. Acknowledging that life cannot return to what it was. And I say that as kind as I can. And that is the reality. And change is not necessarily, it's certainly uncomfortable. So once you allow yourself to realize that, okay, you're gone, I'm back here in this space on earth. What can I do with my life now? We have to. Okay, number two, have compassion for yourself, self-compassion. Give yourself grace as you learn to live differently. It's going to take some time to work through that because you're used to living the way that you normally would. Okay, so give yourself grace. That's one of the things that one of the big things that I can appreciate about this great journey because I was a person that was hard on myself. I was my worst critic. I would get on myself for everything. After I speak, I would go home like, man, I should have said, or I should have done it this way, or I didn't say this. Now I pray about it, give it to God, and it's over when I'm done. So give yourself grace and compassion as you go into this journey. You have to learn how to live like this. I had to learn how to say no. I had to learn how to say no. All right, number three, get your support system. It's important. Identifying, underline the word safe people. Because everybody wants to say to you in this journey because they don't know how to. Not because they don't want to, a lot of times they just don't know how. So we can use it as a teachable moment to teach them. This is what I need. This is what I desire. But the challenge with that, a lot of times we don't know what we need. So we need so long. So this is another reason why I'm going to get help with someone who's qualified, who's a professional that can help you identify those things. Those things. So you got to have support. Safe people, groups like this, or practices to lean on. So support is going to be important because none of us are meant to process through grief alone. God has somebody. Okay? That'll be and number four, the purpose of meeting. Purpose of meeting. Discover new reasons to move forward, finding ways to honor your loss while exploring new possibilities for growth and purpose. So look at the bottom. It says take time, patience, and courage. Brick by brick, building this new life. How many of you have been to New York to see the memorial where not the memorial? Okay. Those of you who have not been, that's a homework assignment. But I'm not paying for your trip. Praise the Lord. I'm not paying. I'm just encouraging. Try to go to New York within the next year. This time next year, I want you to go to 9/11. Why do I want you to go there? Because 9/11 represents life and grief. They could have easily erected two other buildings, you know, in power, but they didn't. They left a huge holes where the buildings were. They created beautiful out of that space. It's a beautiful waterfall. That's your life. It's beautiful, but only you allow it. You're the one that's got to create it. Okay? My life is beautiful now. I get to travel around and tell my story, and people pay me for what? Come on! Yeah! People pay me to be your coach. Listen, you don't put your grief, write a book about it. We'll talk about it. People will pay you. Why? Because you're helping them. Your story is more powerful and impactful than you realize if you allow it. So let's go to that last page. Talk about practical strategies. The key word is I want you to embrace change. And you can read the top questions, when you're on. I'll just read the first sentence. It says change is one of the hardest things to breathe, and it is. But how do you embrace it? Let's go down to the bottom. Ways to embrace change. Practice flexibility. Allow new routines to form gradually. And give yourself permission to try, adjust, and even start over. Okay? You gotta give yourself that permission to try new things. And if you don't like it, okay, I don't like that. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that, but you gotta try. So you want to give yourself that permission. That's how you embrace change. Number two, set small, realistic goals. Small, realistic. Because what I realized, I was setting large goals that were unrealistic. And then I would fail, and then I'd be hard on myself, and then the cycle would start all over again. So you want to break those large changes into manageable steps, like cooking one meal alone, if that's the task that you need to accomplish, attending one event, or creating new one tradition. I'll never forget after the death of my marriage and being a former pastor's wife, and I was invited to a women's conference. It was a huge one. It was a huge one in Fort Worth area, and one of the pastors, the first lady, the whole she said, I don't know. I was so afraid. I went alone, but I forced myself to go. And when I got into that room, it was like, hundreds of people in there. And I was about to hyperventilate. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. But I stayed. And she said, come sit on the stage with me. You're doing too much. I'm not doing that. Too much. My first event. Well, I sit in the audience and said, can you sit on the front row? I said, okay, I'll try to do that. I sat on the front row. Just take one step. Take one step. All right? The next one is number three, strengthen support system. Again, you want to seek out these people. If you don't feel like you have them, seek them out. They're there. Find them in support groups, faith communities, or counseling. Avoid isolation, underline that. Healing happens in connection. Now, there are times when you do need to be alone. We understand that. You want you to give yourself space to do that, but not indefinitely. Okay? So you want to be connected. Have one somebody you check into. Say, hey, I'm at home. I'm okay. But I just need some quiet time right now. And if you need connection with people, say that. I need people right now. I need you. Can you come over and be with me? Versus, this is what a person in Greek will do. They'll talk. Hey, what you doing? The person say, oh, I'm just cooking right now. I'm cooking. I'm okay. What you need? The Greek person will say nothing. I'm okay. Versus saying, I really am I'm struggling right now. Can you come and be with me? Or do you have the capacity to listen to me? So you want to be more verbal with what you need when it comes to support. And then lastly, create rituals for transition. One of the things I did with Dr. Spencer, he was my mentor in funeral service. And when he was murdered years ago, every day after work, I don't know why I never did anything else. Any of my other losses, but every day after work, I'm going out there and have about 2 months. And I was married at the time. And my husband would come home like, what did you do? Are you at the seance? I said, I'm in Greek, leave me alone. That was my ritual. But I stopped it. Okay, so you can do whatever you want to do, basically, kind of just remember what you want to say. So your homework. Now look at page 6 as well. At the bottom of page 5 and then 6. You don't have to draw these two circles. We did it for you. Okay? They're already labeled what was. That's the one on the left. What was and what is becoming. So what you want to do with the first circle on the left, you're going to write things you missed or that have changed because of you. What is it you missed? You missed the comprehension. You missed you missed identify those things. And then the other circle is you're going to write things you hope to rebuild or discover or to grow into. Okay? And then lastly, you're going to draw like a bridge or a line from one circle to the other. Meaning from what was to what is becoming. So that is the bridge to get to what is becoming. Okay? It's like small support that can help you to get to what is becoming. Such as therapy, prayer, journaling, exercising. Those are the things that's going to help you deal with that. All right? So, any questions or comments about today's lesson? Okay, so what are some takeaways that you learned today? Or that spoke to you? You can yell over that. I'm not leaving until I hear something. Allowing new routines. Yes, allowing new routines. That's good. All right. Anybody on this side? What's something that you're going to take away as a lesson today? Nothing. All right, PJ. That is so good. All right. I'm gonna let y'all make it up here on this side. All right. Self-compassion. Self-compassion. Very good. All right. Let's give it up for Mr. Mario as he comes to close us out. And we'll see you guys next time. All right. Remember to do your report. Oh, what a man, what a man, what a man, what a man. Come on, read this book.
Good to see y'all in person. Give yourselves a hand for Monday. Honey bunches up there. We go way back to the Hannah Russell days and Pork Chop days. Renee Cleveland, Mama sit there. Way back. Make it over there. Both of you who supported us last week in our grand opening of the life celebration. Awesome! And since then, we have another funeral home in Austin. It's called Helping Hands Funeral and Cremation. Right off of Breaker, 35 and Lamar. On our very own crematory. All cremations don't have to see. That's where we at there. We set a lower price, so y'all don't have to be done on the phone selling hot dog wraps, GoFundMe, all those things there. It's, but now listen, ain't no new cars over there. It's a very basic one. You know, it's a muzzle quick, it's quick. So don't go over that top of my name. We're up in here, but we want to use the chapel up there and make some favorite, and we want the president to thing. It won't be happening. Okay. But thank you. It's coming. Our Miss Marie making her singing debut last year. See what the Lord has done, but we've been waiting for his coming to pass. But it was last year, so go back and look at it. Oh, it was this one was in 1975. Was a musician. She don't do none of that. When Lisa telling me, Lisa just got the town, how you folk last? I'm gonna listen to that Lisa. And I know you listening, Lisa Alexander Jenkins. But thank you for bringing that to this. You know, sometimes people outside can get things done that people in the family. Yeah, but so glad to see all of them. I just reflect off of these twins over here. Just how they interact, I just get joy looking at them. Because a lot of the twins don't get along. And then that's just when you got family, you get along like that. You keep that. Now, next month will be online. But no, it's November. So that we're going to be at the new facility. I want to thank Constable Tonya Nixon and her staff opened the doors here. But then that song Corgan basically said, God bless the child has got his own. So we got our own room, plenty room over there now. They still always have to have, you know, people have to have a landmark of what Southern used to be. It used to be Hanover's nightclub, but some of y'all did some things, said that's funny. It was a nightclub. So we have 2 acres, we have 8,000 square feet, plenty of room. Events center. So we had a church banquet there already, and yeah, supposed to be there next month. We're gonna have the empty chair, I suppose, and we're gonna have it in grand style. But I might be able to get a early and watch the. Everybody gonna be ready to come in. I'm gonna make sure you have a ticket to get in. You ain't gonna have to pay for the ticket. Don't come bring. Why is it not? How many y'all don't have family reunions this year? Family reunion? Did y'all send the paperwork out and they didn't respond? Did you pay the money? You did a reminder. They still the money. Then on that night, here they come with 3 Greyhound bus loads of friends. And what's the first thing they do? Go to the food line, take all the plates and take them to the trunk of the car. Go get another plate and tell you what you should have had. Y'all ain't got no shrimps. Y'all ain't got no briskets. And a rib. All of that stuff. So now we just want to make sure that we have enough for everybody there. Do a grand stop. Next year we might do it in person anyway. Like that. We go on there. But invite someone. I was looking, there was over 70 people watching on Facebook. What else are we going to search Cedric? What other platforms are we going to besides Facebook?
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube, we high society on your YouTube get a certain thing, they start paying. Y'all tell them folks to get on YouTube so I get some money. Ooh, I need some money for these investments we done paid over there. Made over there. But y'all be safe. But again, let's stop our hands for precinct 1. Love you, Johnny. When we couldn't come, when she couldn't come, she makes sure someone was here. We have much more space and as well can do some bigger things. Thanks to Ms. Linda Mayor. I have to go review it and see what's going on over here. Also, keep my sister Ola Barbara Ken Lewis in prayer. She can send me her updates. She's improving, so get together. We gotta come over. And she's getting that. You know, everybody encourage someone. Thank y'all for the love that you give them, Maria and I and stuff. I got Troy B. Smith. We're gonna get closer to this. I got the best staff in the world. Had a nice celebration by Franklin, and now they step in hand. We have a choir that debuted last week. Nice celebration for Rag. I mean, he gonna probably go down slow country. Why he gonna go try to pay people to come and sing, but they can't compare to my choir, you know. And Lord bless him, he has a mental illness. He thinks he's James Cleveland, wrapped up with John P. Key, wrapped up with Richard Smallwood, trying tripping and all that. He just tripping. But you know you have to be careful because there are some heroes in their own. And then you got others who are just a hero in their own mind, like Troy D. Smith in Houston, 9013 Scott Street. I call this holy Troy Bernard Smith. But thinking is, my family, I just love my family. I don't have no in-laws. I got brothers and Mike, my brother, Marcy, my sister. Cassie is Cassie. Oh, that's Tania's mama. Okay. John, I see my son over here. Stand up, son. Riding a motorcycle. I'll be on the motorcycle today. You go with it too. People say, you can say, folks are just lying to church. Yeah, you look like him. You don't turn the business over to him. Well, we'll see y'all next month. We'll be online, but be ready for November. We're going to party in November. It's Dr. Cunningham's birthday. We're going to get boots on the ground. Mama, we're going to go learn that song. We're going to learn that. Okay? All right. We love y'all. Bye-bye. And my wife always got some snacks for y'all. I was going to bring y'all some pig feet and neck bones, but it's cold. I do it next. Shout out to True Love right here. We know about that. Okay, DJ, give us some music. Bye-bye.